Okay, I'm back. Sorry I got cut off by the 10-minute time limit there. Um, gonna go ahead and pick up where I left off with the show home pages. Basically, as I was saying, it's pretty simple. I mean, this is the code. The custom loop here is, oops, get that highlighted. The custom loop is the loop that I've written um, for the show homepage template, and it's pretty straightforward. It's basically the same thing as the thesis home loop, which is what shows up on like a normal blog homepage. So like what would have shown up on your show home pages before, but it's got a couple modifications, and I'll talk about that in a second. Thesis post navigation just basically shows your previous and next post links. And then obviously build sidebars just puts your sidebars here. One thing I do want to say about this is that I've built it in a way that will allow you to use the same custom, like basically all of your thesis customization abilities are maintained. So anything you could do before, options wise, you should be able to do now. Like you can change the width of sidebars, width of your content column. You can add more sidebars. You can kind of, so if you ever want to customize the site further, test things out, do whatever, you'll be able to do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the spoiler show loop here real quick. Like I said, this is just custom show loop that I just talked about that goes inside the template for each show. Pretty much, if you don't know PHP, this is all going to be, look like it's in a foreign language, but essentially what you need to know, like this right here, controls the fact that you're gonna show the AdSense after the second post. If you want to change that, then you need to scroll back up to the top, find the corresponding tag, which is show ads. Basically, you can put this after whatever post you want. So let's say you wanted to change it, put it after the 5th post. You would change that number to 5, or if you wanted it after the first post, change the number to 1. You can do whatever you want there. So that's the thesis custom show loop, and again, it's very similar to the thesis home loop, like you would have had on your pages before, with a couple modifications, like I talked about. And oh yeah, I wanted to show you real quick. I left it this way so that you would be able to maintain control over your thesis options, which I want to show you really quick here. If you look at display options, you go into archives. You can right now, and these archives will also control the content of your show home pages. So right now they're set up as just excerpts. So you see the title and the excerpt. The title, the byline, and the excerpt, which is exactly the way that you had it. In the event you ever wanted to change it, like if you wanted to make everything a teaser, you could do that. If you wanted to show only the titles, you could do that. Or if you want to make it the same as your home page, you could do that. Now, you don't have a home page necessarily, so like, you're not going to look at your home page and say, oh, I want it to be like that. But what you can do, there's a thesis option for homepage display, and you can select the number of featured posts to show. So like, let's say that you want to show 4 featured posts, like you want to show the whole post for 4 posts, and then you want to show 6 teasers for your 10 posts on your page. You would select 4, and you would save that, and then you would just select same as homepage. So and that's basically how you can customize that, and you can make that display almost any way that you want to, and those options are left intact even with the custom templates. So with that said, we'll get back to business here. Okay, where are we at? I think we are ready to move on to the droid thing. So spoilers underscore droid. Okay, basically with this, it's pretty straightforward. The droid div here, that encompasses basically the entire section. So like all 6 of them are in that box. That's the droid div for styling purposes. On the home page, you have the H3 tag recent spoilers. That's right there, so you can change that title if you like. You can make it whatever you want. These 3 lines of code right here basically just set up the query that calls the 6 posts on the home page. So don't mess with that. The only time you would mess with that is if you wanted to change the number of posts that you would show. So like if you wanted to show uh, 10 instead of 6, or you wanted to change it up however you want to do that, that's an option that you could change. And then basically once we get into it, each show has its own little output template here. So basically you find the tag for category whatever it is that you want to change the output for. Like if you wanted to put in a different image for Cougar Town, for example, you would scroll down here to Cougar Town. I apologize. There's a lot of noise outside my apartment right now. I think somebody's using a snowblower, so I apologize if you can hear that. Not really a whole lot I can do about it, I don't think. But yeah, Cougar Town here. If you wanted to change the image, basically, this is very similar. Like, you just have, you have your H reference, which is basically just the permalink to the post that's going to show up. You have the title of the post will show up below the image. Or I'm sorry, that's the title for that's the pop-up. So if you hover over this whole thing, like the title will pop up, and then down here, this is the title that will show up. So underneath the image, and then obviously your image source. It's right here, blog template URL, just like it was for the headers. Custom images, recent, and then Cougar Town, just whatever image you wanted to put in there. So pretty straightforward with that. And obviously, if you wanted to add another show, you would basically just create another, copy and paste an else if, put it in there, and you'd have to change. Well, basically the only thing you would have to change at that point is your image, and your category slug, obviously. So yeah, pretty straightforward with that. You also wanted to know how to. Ooh, excuse me, got a little bit of hiccups here. I apologize. Yeah. You also wanted to know a couple things about the droid. Let me go ahead and show you the single page droid because there's just a couple differences, and then I'll get into. You wanted to know about controlling or like how to place the droid other places, which is pretty straightforward if you use hooks. And then you wanted to know about rows and columns and how to do that. So I can talk about that a little bit too. Okay, so droid single. If basically, I mean, this is almost the exact same setup. Obviously, it's 5 posts here rather than 6, and it's encompassed in if is single. The other one was if is page, like the home page, pretty much. That's basically it. Everything else is exactly identical, and the differences you see on the page are just controlled with CSS. It's not, it's nothing else. That's all it is. So. But they have to be separate functions because they're going to be output in different places. And is single will control everywhere else but the home page. So that that line of 5 posts you see across the top just under the header image, that's what this controls. And it works the exact as far as the each individual show's output, it works the exact same way as the other one. So pretty straightforward with that. All right, let me talk real quick here about controlling droid with CSS. This is pretty simple and straightforward. If you have like really basic CSS knowledge, this should be no problem. Like I said, droid is the main output. Actually, for the droid single encompasses the whole thing rather than just the droid ID. So as you can see, I've got a few things there, and you can kind of customize that however you want. Hey, you just sent me an email. Let's see. Droid title, obviously you can customize that. As far as customizing the columns and rows and that kind of thing, that's just with droid item, basically. Like you can mess with the margins, and if you make the margins wide enough for each individual item, like each item controls one image. Like each item controls this right here. Like this is one item, Modern Family episode 11, Up All Night promo trailer. That's one droid item, and that's controlled by this. So if you if you mess with the width of it and you mess with the margins, like top right, bottom left, mess with the margins, then you can kind of control, and you can make things appear in different columns, and you can set how many are going to appear in one column, and that will create the number of rows. That's going to have to be it for now because I'm going to have to start another video.